Now turning to your environment, a toxic algae bloom along the Los Angeles coast is once again threatening marine life, particularly sea lions. The Marine Mammal Care Center has been on the front lines rescuing and rehabilitating affected animals. And we have CEO John Warner with us via Zoom to explain what's happening. Good morning, John. Great to see you again.
You too, Sarah. Hi.
So we've seen toxic algae blooms before. I've covered them with you, but can you really explain what you're seeing right now along the coast here in Los Angeles and how sea lions are being affected?
Yeah, so we're seeing sea lions strand with typical signs of domoic acid toxicosis. That's the seizure activity where their heads go back and forth, side to side, foaming at the mouth, or extreme lethargy, which is what we are seeing right now. It's pretty much centered in Malibu, but we have had strandings already north of Redondo in beaches here in Los Angeles County. So we're concerned as it's just the beginning, and there's been quite a few reports about 18 animals even yesterday that couldn't be rescued in places in Malibu. So it's a wait and see to see how large this will get, and hopefully it's going to be short-lived and contained, but we won't know more probably till next week.
Okay, well, we have seen these toxic algae blooms really occur more frequently. You experienced the largest one on record back in 2023, and I remember your resources were really stretched to the max. Can you kind of explain some of the barriers you guys are up against and how this maybe compares to that major event a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's too early for us to know whether this is going to be similar to 2023, smaller, larger. That's really going to be over the next week that we might get a better sense of that. I think we have really built relationships across the county with our county supervisors, beaches and harbor, elected officials, and local coastal cities, and feel more prepared than we did back in 2023. And I think we've all learned a lot from that moment to serve us well as we head into the unknown. February blooms are uncommon. Looking back at our records, it's only happened one other time. So it's extremely early from what we normally see in terms of blooms. And these are naturally occurring in the environment. The frequency, the size, the toxicity of the algae, most likely contributing factors due to human activities, climate change, acidification of ocean, the warming temperatures, and of course, organic runoff, agricultural runoff, fertilizers, sewage spills, etc., add to these blooms. Don't necessarily cause them, but they are contributing.
And you had mentioned about the toxic algae blooms producing that domoic acid, that neurotoxin that will affect the brains of these animals like the sea lions. In addition to the symptoms that you mentioned already, are you able to treat these animals to a full recovery? Are they able to go back into the wild?
Yeah, that is always our goal, as you know, because I think you've been to some of our release events. We can treat domoic acid successfully if the animals are brought in a timely manner. It's really dependent upon the amount of toxin they ingested, the toxicity of the algae. So we're seeing a higher mortality rate with animals stranding right now than we normally do. A lot of that has to do with probably how much they've ingested and the toxicity of the algae. The ones that we do have on site, we are treating. They're responding well. Again, this hits our female sea lions quite hard down here in Southern California, since the breeding ground for 85% of pups being born is the Channel Islands. And all but 2 of our current patients are pregnant and most likely will not see those pups through term.
Oh, that is definitely kind of sad news for sure. In addition to seeing these toxic algae blooms occur more frequently, what do you think, is there anything that people can do to maybe help these events from occurring as often as they do? Is there anything that we can do?
So our individual actions always matter. I think in this particular instance, you're talking about pretty large, touchy issues or heady issues with climate change and ocean acidification, things of this nature. I think people have a lot of power in what they vote for, what they advocate for, and that's where people can be really helpful. And then, of course, when you see these animals on the beach, it's going to be warm. I just saw the weather report that you all had. It's going to be warm. That means more people at the beach. These animals are unpredictable when they are sick with this neurological toxin. So we ask people to keep their distance and to call us if they see any of these animals on the beach. Call our hotline at 1-800-39-WHALE.
That's right. So just really quickly, what might beachgoers actually see if there is a sick sea lion?
So if you see a sea lion that's moving their head side to side, foaming at the mouth, sort of that sphinx where the head is backward and moving around, any kind of aggressive behavior, or if they're just really out of it, if you can get fairly close, which no one should, that means that animal needs to be brought in to our care. And at this point, any animal on the beach with a lot of people is a reason to call us.
Okay. Again, that hotline, 1-800-WHALE. Can you say it one more time, John? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. 1-800-39-WHALE.
1-800-39-WHALE. Thank you so much, John, for coming on and letting us know about this and the great work that you do at the Marine Mammal Care Center. John Warner, CEO, thank you.
Thank you.